old man. Here we go again. We are back with some second channel action. Oh, if you didn't know, this is how me and Theo start every morning. We come over here. I keep some food over here too, where it's just easier to feed him in the morning. And I give him his little bit of food. He has him a little snacky snack. And then he just stares at this chair and he waits for Dad to sit down. And as soon as I sit down, he likes to do this right here. It's just called prolonged eye contact. So let's just stare at each other. Me and Hot Rod gave him a nice bath last night, so he actually feels good. That'll be ruined by the end of the day. Today, guys, I kind of realized I wasn't going to record what I just started doing. And then I'm realizing this is kind of a pivotal moment in the Loadstar build. It's undecided at this point. We may entertain the idea of air ride, and we may keep it static because the ride height where we set everything up at is pretty well nailed. We nailed it. But last week on the main channel, after we got the A-arms on there with the torsion bar issues, I just set the front down. Poor man's air ride, just lowered the jack, and we ended the video. Well, what you didn't see was afterwards, I started looking at stuff on the back like, maybe it's what she needs. And I actually ended up, Slick come over and seen it. Y'all know Slick likes the hot rod, so he's usually more into like a static drop type thing. And he actually really liked the front of this thing being slammed down like that. And I got to thinking, I was like, hey, we could just simply pull some shackle bolts and loosen those and let that tuck down. And that's what I did. Then we got to the point where we were sitting on the airbags. And basically right now, what I've got to do, guys, I don't have to make a final decision today. For the main channel moving forward tomorrow, I think I'm going to start installing the scissor dump for the bed, and that'll buy me some time on the suspension to be able to think about stuff and everything. But what I would like to do right now is figure out what fully is my options. So here's the thing. If we decide to do air ride, this video right here will be when that decision's not necessarily made, but when things are figured out. I just took that too high. So let me show y'all what I figured out so far. Because y'all already know we've done some stuff back there, and I was like, boy, I don't even know air ride back there would be possible without having to redo some of what we've already done, and we don't want to redo none of it. Our front's as low as it can go. We're tire to fender. Good. I don't want smaller wheels. I don't want smaller tires. So with all that being said, unless we want to modify some fenders to somehow be taller and not look ugly, which probably ain't possible, the front is as low as it can go. And there's just enough room for you to do a nervous tap of your toe underneath that running board right there. What do you think about that, Theodore? Dude, if we left air ride on it, it's going to be easier for you to load up. Think about that. Let's think about the benefits of Theo. Huh? So our back at static ride height, it sits just about like this, guys. We start to just tuck a little bit of tire into that edge. So here's the dealio, Pickle. I do not want to have one of them goofy flatbeds that got big old tubs and stuff. I still want the flatbed we've done to work. And it'll lower it down just a hair more. Eagle Eye ain't quite tuned in this morning because that's how it was before, because that's about what I had from the tire to the top of that wood, 4 3/8. So as you can see, that only gives us about 3 inches. 4 1/2, 4 3/8. Told you it wasn't tuned in yet. That only allows us to drop additional 3 inches back here before we hit that wood, and that would hold us up. The wood would. However, we could gain additional clearance right here pretty quick because there's no reason why we couldn't take some thicker plate, maybe 3/8, and wherever this is going to start hitting this, if we took the wood out and we lowered it down as far as it would go, that we couldn't put like some steel plate right here. Probably basically where this is in line, if that was like 3/8 plate that just continued straight out all the way across, and then it's 3/8 thick instead of 1.5 inches. And then obviously that gives us around 4 inches of drop. That's what I figured out the other day before I took the shackle bolts out, was we could get right at 4 inches of drop. So that's not the only area that could rub. Y'all remember my old pal fender well we had to build in here? Well, as you can see, we ain't quite got 4 inches right there. So it does look like we would possibly need to take about additional inch off of this. That would leave us probably a 1/4 inch up there, and then that rounded edge. Now at that point, we may box in a little bit of that for additional strength. I still don't think we need it, especially if we tie all that together with plate, guys. This was a concern to some people, and I know it looks scary until you really think about it. And if you try to take 1/4 inch angle iron that's 6 inches tall with a 2-inch lip on it, like try to bend 2x2 angle iron 1/4 inch thick. Good luck. I don't know what you're bending on it with, but you're putting some stank on it. Now you're trying to bend 2x6, with the 6 being vertical for the, that's where it's the strongest, is what I'm trying to say. So we would really have to pinpoint a ton of weight directly onto one of these points somehow. And I don't know how much it would take to bend it, but we can, we're not loading anything on the back of this truck that could pinpoint weight right there and bend that. So don't let that be a big concern, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be perfectly strong. So we figure out we got to take probably an inch off of this. We're not doing that today. Our goal is going to be to finish taking our helper bags out, and then we'll drop this down, and I think it will be what will end up holding us up. But for a mock-up of not doing anything critical, taking out a couple bolts and taking out some helper bags and then dropping it down, that's as close as we can get it to where we could get it down to for a fast, quick look. And I know we've been doing a lot of talking and thinking and figuring out on the second channel, guys. This is a project that is just so unique in the fact of there's just a lot of stuff to figure out. There's a lot of thinking that needs to happen sometimes before some of the work can go on. And like right now, trying to figure out where could I put Air Ride, and do I want to do that, or do I just want to move forward with what I was doing? Those kind of decisions kill me. I mean, just makes it where I don't want to sleep good. I go to sleep thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it. So at some point, I've got to figure the stuff out. So if you're over the figuring out stuff here on the second channel, I do apologize. But either way, I'm going to have a day tied up into this thing at some point, looking it over and figuring stuff out. So I just figured y'all could join me. Now, as far as our helper bags go, this was a fully bolt-in kit. And no matter how we move forward, whether we do with Air Ride, obviously it'd have to be out. Even if we move forward, just keeping her static dropped. This don't even have to be in here now because we've built everything to work around it. In fact, I should have removed these years ago. Not years ago, but a few weeks ago, before we ever started building hitches and stuff. I should have went ahead and took these out. If I was a smart man, I would have brought a power tool. My feet are on my toolbox, but I'm too far away from it to get up and get one. We've gone too far. If you didn't see where we put these helper bags on, they're just it's a bolt-on, I think Firestone kit. I can't quite remember, honestly. And it was just for 08 Chevy truck chassis, nothing special. Uses a couple bolts up top and a couple of U-bolts and some unique brackets down bottom to just bolt it onto this factory bump stop location, and clamps to the factory axle. All right, there's a couple bolts on this side. Now here's a good example of why you don't use your nylock hardware for a mock-up install. You'll be tearing your nylocks up right now. Whoop. So the Air Ride, we got a few things to think about. You got to have some type of link system. You got to have clearance for your axle to go down as far as enough as you can. I don't know if y'all can see right here, but as far as that goes, like usually we got a notch. Don't look at that. Y'all know I've still got to clean that up, and I'm probably gonna taper cut that and then plate that all in. It'll be pretty when I'm done, don't worry. Sometimes we'll have to notch a frame, but I don't know if your eagle eye y'all can see, but I told y'all from where we're at right now, we need to drop 4 inches. Well, there's way more than 4 inches, not way more, but there's at least more than 4 inches between the top of our axle and the bottom of that frame. So what I'm saying is, it don't look like we would need to notch the frame to be able to set the axle down. Link bars, we could do like a parallel 4-link. We could go out here towards the outside, perhaps, basically where our leaf springs are running. We'd have dual link bars out here. We would then have to do some type of bar to stop it from moving side to side if we did a parallel 4-link, because I don't really think we got room for triangulated. So then we would need a heavy duty pan hard bar or a Watts link. We're not going for much travel on this thing, so I think a pan hard bar honestly would be fine. We obviously got to have shock somewhere, and so far everything I've told y'all's not too complicated. If you don't do air ride stuff, it may sound like a lot, but so far it's really not. It would actually be a pretty easy air ride system. The one thing I have figured out so far that's going to be an absolute nightmare is going to be where the heck will we put a big old airbag, because the center chunk is enormous. So he's like a damn shoulder, a shoulder to elbow and half a wrist worth. That thing's like 2 foot across. And then not much further this way are your leaf springs, which would be where your mounts are for your 4-link. And then the calipers and stuff are right there. Do you see what I mean? Caliper, look, from the tip of that finger, don't even make it to your elbow, and you're hitting this sucker. So we got a very short area right here to work with. We'll get more into that as we go, but now we should be able to set this sucker down some more. So that kit was a few $100, and obviously it'll be no good to us if we did go this route. But if that's the only major, taking those out and then notching our thing and changing the top of our bed just a little bit, it's not very, very crazy. Oh, that baby just tucked. Oh yeah, she's what's got us held up now. And like I said, if that was cut out, we would get 1 more inch. So look right there where that 16 is, and we would be tucking our wheel down to right there. Also, I don't know if y'all remember from my toe tap, but that running board was sitting pretty raked, and now with that drop down right there, it has a slight rake. I think 1 additional inch, and that running board's going to be pretty well level to the ground. Man, oh man. Well, with this, guys, there's not a ton to look at. I had to look at those couple things, and now it's just up to me to end up making the decision if that's what we want to pursue or not. And I haven't locked in a decision, so I can't tell you what it is, but that's not all we're going to do today. Nate Dogg just showed up in his BRZ. Theo's trying to give him free tire washing there. But he's got different wheels and tires for this thing. I don't know if a tire shop's open today because it's Labor Day, but we'll check around and see. But what'd you bring? Coilovers?
Yep.
All right. Are we stancing her out even more?
No, we can't do that.
We're gonna sit the belly of that thing on the ground, and we're trying to get at least -12 camber with the inside edge being out hella flush to the fenders. We got a shop right around here. If you want to use the shop, you gotta be able to work a broom. That's some high quality sweeping we got going on. And he gave me some 55-gallon drums to start throwing the scrap metal in. Guys, you can dump stuff like that in there. It's like 5 pounds of metal right there at least. That's pretty solid. Right, Nate Dogg gonna pull the Bumblebee in here, and I think we're doing coilovers, some rear lower arms or something. It's gonna help them get a better alignment out of the deal. There's not enough adjustability out of the factory ones or something. I really don't know. I just told them we could do it. Getting this thing on the lift is a nightmare because it sits so low. Went for a pinch wheel attack. We look good. Just always trying to make sure to stay out of the body on this thing. Don't want to be tearing it up like Nathan already did. Come on, too soon. He was showing me where he ran something over last week and it just plumb ate up underneath there. Something bounced and rolled or rolled and wedged and just tore it all up. There went our high quality paint. We've got her in the air. Let's see what we got here. We got the Neo Max. Did you order these off eBay?
No.
That sounds like an eBay suspension.
No, it's legit. Come on.
Neo Max. Dang. They look pretty legit. I hope they come with installation instructions. New stabilizers. Dang. You may should have took it to a shop that's more qualified.
No better place than here. Come on.
I wish we could cut to a car like pulling out of a shop and a spring shoots out or something. And we got the white line. Like I said, different arms or whatever. I can see how those are slotted. Dang, what do they make these out of? Little sheet metal? Those are little guys, huh? Look like they got the bolts with the little cam style washers for...
You want to custom make some ones for the BRZ?
We could. I bet if I built some, they'd be beefier than this. You want a tow of this thing or what?
We have to get a hitch first.
Oh, I could make a hitch work. We come right up through the trunk, right here.
The trunk?
Gooseneck, baby.
Oh, okay.
Hay hauler.
I can start taking the orders to the post office.
Yeah. Then we'd use this to tow instead of this thing. It would be more capable. Dang kids with their fancy new cars. I didn't even think about it. He's got different wheels and tires and he's like, what do we gotta do so the air sensor monitoring system's happy? I'm like, hell, I don't know. I don't know nothing with it. So I called my buddy and I asked him if we brought these over, if he could, if it could all be swapped. And I bet location matters too. So passenger front, where we keep track of which one's where. Golly, what I'm used to throwing around, these things don't weigh nothing. Oh yeah, he's wearing that tire out on the inside. She still had some negative camber. I bet he felt it when it was raining. A little bolder in there than out there. I can relate. Oh, the rear was aligned a little. Yeah, she is aligned better. We got even wear. We could have rotated tires to the front and he could have got a little more life out of them. So this actually ain't our first time to work on Nate Dogg's car. Before we did, I guess, new springs. We put lowering springs on the factory coilovers and he ran that little baby spacer to push the wheels out some. Pulled off our driver's side and the front driver was definitely the worst. Looky there. Woo! Looked like I was right on time. We got the 18-inch Japan Power raise loaded up, new tires. We'll grab the old ones and head that way. Getting a little color up in here. What is that, a bronze?
Oh yeah.
Is that what you call it?
Yep.
Dang, getting fancy. Whew. Got the special single-use valve stem in the fancy packaging too. There you go.
Japan.
Yeah, I was curious what the Japan Powers look like.
That's what it looks like right there.
Woo! What's 57 stand for?
Just 57.
How many ass whippings that car's gonna put on some people or what?
Oh yeah.
57, how many miles you're gonna get out of it before you need new tires again? Boy, those are a nice looking wheel. You get those on eBay too?
No.
Dang, look at the ball y'all got going. What do y'all do with that?
Put stickers on it every time.
Keep going.
See how far it goes.
You think these will run truer than that bent Stilly I brought you from Dorman?
Yeah. Good chance.
Last time I was recording over here is when we did the Stillies and white walls for the 59 when we put Air Ride on it. And there's one of those Dorman Stillies I bought and it was just wobbling real bad, nice and bent. Guys, if you're around Pot County, Derek right there has been my tire guy. I've followed around from place to place. He's managed a few places around here. This place here was the Randy's Tire and Alignment, but they actually bought it, and starting tomorrow, I believe they're operating as Caster Key. So he actually bought it, and as you can see, he's here working on Labor Day, taking care of it. Good, hard-working man, does good work. So if y'all need any work done around Pot County, and you're curious where I would send you, it would be here. They've also done all my alignments for me here recently, and they've been just spot on, even on the lowered, hammered stuff. Good work. Well, we got back here and we're kind of looking at everything, and I'm not a coilover expert. We put some on the back of the Model A. That was a manufactured chassis. I did fab up some and make them work on the back of the Stout, but these ones here for the front, these are kind of a double adjustable thing, and I just kind of had to look and see in a video that Nate Dogg had about these specifically. So right here, you can obviously change your spring rate some by, adjusting that. But these lowers, it's actually pretty cool because you can tighten these up, and that's actually how you change your ride height. So you can adjust the height without adjusting the spring rate. And the shock's built internal and has adjustable valving up here. And they said one of their features is you can basically thread this sucker all the way up until that collar hit that collar if you wanted, and that shock will just continue to hang out the bottom. So you could really slam this thing to undrivable amount, no problem. The video did not cover, however, really where to set any of the stuff. The guy said they come with the proper amount of preload out of the box, which is about 1 millimeter worth. So that's easy enough, but as far as height-wise, at the end of the video of them installing it, their car looked pretty well at factory height. Well, we've already put an inch, 1.2 to 1.4 lowering springs on this thing. So we don't want it at that height. So what I did was we took our trusty tape measure and I measured between our two collars, and we had exactly 3.5 inches. So we went to this one and we just tuned it down to 2.5 inches, taking 1 inch out. And we're going to use that as our baseline to get going. There's a good possibility when we get done with this, we set it down and we determine, hey, the front needs to go down a hair or up a hair, and same with the back. So we may have to do some up and downs and install something twice till we figure it out. We've got her where we want to try her though. So up next, all we got to do is start pulling the old one out of here and finally getting rid of them damn wheel spacers.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
The boy becomes a man. None of them came loose that whole time. Oh yeah, she's on there good. What was holding that, you ask? Just a little corrosion starting to happen. All right, last time we put just new springs on the factory strut, so we've been through this before. Let's get our end link off. 17 millimeter action. And last time we just popped that off at the top. But this go around, that kit actually came with new end links. So we're gonna remove the lowers as well. Just had to use that old man strength, as Nathan calls it. Get that one popped loose. We can't get the impact down on there. Hey, you remember last time you were struggling with that bolt and I was like, let me get it, and then I pulled on it real hard and everything in my body popped from head to toe?
Unk strength.
Unk strength, that's what it was. Guys, that's why I let him bring the car back over. I'm hoping to get a good pop like that again. I never felt better after that day.
No need for a tire fracture.
Man, when stuff behind your ear pops all the way down to your pinky toe and everything in between, guys, that's the next level feeling. Unk strength. I remember that. Oh, it looks like we got 2 of them. Get them pulled. Oh, don't break that. Can't believe they double clipped that sucker. That's commitment. Now do not fear, I'd already popped that sucker loose. She was tighter than that. I just thought maybe we could get that bolt out of the way and then get that clip easier. What you giggling at back there?
Nothing.
That I said she's tighter than that?
That's the brake cleaner. It's
Oh yeah.
too much.
Yeah, you got the good job. I am doing this side just to kind of remember from last time. But we'll just do what we did last time too, where I'll kind of figure out a side where I can walk Nathan through it, and then I'll let him knock out the other side, guys. That way he can, do the stuff himself on his car. All right, made that a little easier to get to. Got a bolt here holding our brake line. A lot of this newer stuff really ain't that bad to work on. I don't know why, I just don't enjoy it. I'm like, no, I'd rather work on something that has a bunch of rusted hardware that I gotta fight bolts that are stripped, and you know, doing something like this could take 3 days instead of a few hours. Yeah, that's what I'd rather do. I'd rather build something where I gotta build full suspension for it, because that's way less work. That's Pot County logic, baby. All right, we're free. Yeah, here she is. So before we install these new ones, I wanted to make sure, because there is an offset up top here, because everything's adjustable on these. So besides that down there, we've got all this up here, and you can see there's a bigger gap on that side versus that side. So we look back in this video, and I wanted to make sure the bigger gap is towards the engine side. I also wanted to show Night Dog how much cleaner their engine bay is versus his dirty one here. Just to highlight, you know, just to highlight how much, you know, someone who really takes care of their stuff keeps their stuff clean versus.
Show them the weather app.
The weather app.
Yeah.
No excuses. We just want action, not excuses. To be fair, he is brake cleaning his fender wells to get any of the overspray of the undercoating he's not happy with off. So he's going the extra mile there. How much were these things? They look really nice.
There was a sale going on for the coilovers and the rear lower control arms. In total, I paid $1,200 for both.
$1,200 for everything.
But those alone are $1,400.
Woo! He said the price just went up on them too, so he got them when they were on sale. I will say, I don't know much about the tuner aftermarket world or Neo Maxes, but this does look very nice quality. I know you can look at me and be really surprised I haven't installed a lot of aftermarket coilovers on little sports cars, because that's exactly what I look like. These just sit right up into place. And again, I think all this stuff is supposed to be kind of tuned in to runnable out of the box for them. But Nathan is going to have to go get an alignment again once we get everything set where we want it, especially now that they'll actually be able to get all the camber out of this thing and not be eating up tires. We'll say that factory looking nut looks a little meaner than those. You starting to feel lightheaded yet? Now these did come with an Allen wrench, and of course for me not doing this, that just seems crazy that that's all slotted and we're gonna rely on that to hold that to me. But then again, this car weighs like 400 pounds, so it probably don't gotta have all kinds of crazy amounts of torque and everything. Maybe we'll see if we can find some torque specs on all of that, and we'll end up putting a torque wrench on it. For now, we still just want to get it all together. It should not be that hard to slide that up in place and get that bolt started. Let me get her together here. Should have been that easy the first time. So I told y'all these were all kinds of adjustable. Something else this one has is a slotted upper hole there. So we actually got adjustment with that even. I don't know how much we're gonna tune that in. If we knew with these around if you're doing around an inch drop, and then you're supposed to go in all the way this way or that way or whatever, we could tune it out. But with doing this, again, that's why I tell him, like, you just need to go have it aligned. Go let them really tune everything in where it's actually supposed to be, instead of us doing the guesswork. Now that don't mean we can't do some guesswork though. So that's shoved all the way over. We got about 2 degrees. I don't know, actually if we shove it all the way over, we can get right at 0. As we get weight on this, that arm should pull in some. So I'm gonna say let's push that out till we've got about 1.5 degrees. Just barely leaned her out some, and we'll set it right there. Again, that ain't gonna be perfect and shouldn't be just relied upon, but that should help make it a little less squirrely for driving it to the alignment shop. And unless you've ever put like a 3-inch drop spring and spindle and got your suspension and stuff plumb all over the place, and then drove it to alignment shop in some rain like I did when I was in high school with my Blazer and damn near died, you don't understand how scary that can be. I'm like, I'll be fine. Oh, the things we're willing to do to lower stuff. Damn near death. All right, those are tight. Brake line's tight. 2 clips pop back in. Honestly, I should have waited on those 2 clips in case we got to change our height, but it's okay. Let's just full commit like it's gonna work. Let's live a little here. Lock that jam nut down. Boy, I know Nate Dogg's gotta be feeling good over there. I'm starting to get it over here and I ain't even been close to it. You floating yet? Toes tingling?
See, that's not eBay right there.
All right, I'm not gonna put our new end link on because our other side ain't loose yet, and we need to get it loose before we fight it. And honestly, I shouldn't even put this other stuff back on. It's not hard to pop that stuff loose again, but really we should get all the coil spring or all the struts in, coilovers, whatever, and then get her sat down and make sure we're not doing any more adjusting before we fully just commit on everything. Because now, if we have to take it apart, we're pulling those clips again and the brake line so we can spin that and blah, blah, blah. Now that Nathan's nice and floating around in his own world over here, I'll let him, we'll have him go through this side real quick. All right, she's wrapped up. That went real quick. I just kind of, again, helped set this one where I think we should be and we tighten them down. This other stuff, like I said, we're gonna leave it loose. Our sway bar was rotating down, so I got us a zip tie over here just to help hold it up. Same thing, we don't wanna be popping these on and off 1,000 times if we're adjusting. For now, the front should be wrapped up and we should be on to the rear. Hop back to the rear, we're pretty much doing the same thing, guys, except we're replacing the lower control arms as well. Should be pretty simple. You didn't have your exhaust on there last time, did you? You added it after?
No, after our last one, no, it was on there.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
I thought you did it after we did the other stuff.
No, I did the exhaust first, very first thing.
Dang, wanted people to hear him coming. Sway bar end link. He's been driving through a lot of salt water or something. I don't know what the deal is. We got some corrosion going on. You been living up north and not telling nobody or what?
I driving to California or something.
This dang thing's just a rust bucket. Huh. She's got a carrier bearing. I wouldn't have guessed that. It is cool because this is a rear wheel drive car. As you can see the diff right there. But look right up there in front of that. See that carrier bearing hanging down? It's got a dang 2-piecer. This car ain't long enough to have a 2-piece. That's a pretty cool little suspension setup on this thing, guys, with that rear diff and independent back here. It's probably pretty typical. I'm just never working on stuff like this, so I don't ever look at nothing like it. You may convert me into a little BRZ, or you never know. We can go run around with all the other Honda hot boys, as Slick says.
Both have lawnmowers.
This impact makes more torque. I just thought of something. I don't know why this alignment shop, well, probably because they don't want to be liable, but if that aftermarket coilover, they just slot the top hole where it bolts onto the spindle or knuckle or whatever you want to call that thing. Why couldn't you just do that on your factory one, slot them out yourself and get more adjustability there? That way we didn't eat up tires. It wouldn't have been, you don't get as nice product, obviously, a nice fully adjustable everywhere coilover, but they didn't do nothing special to lock that in there. They're just relying on the clamping force. So in theory, we could have slotted the factory ones and got a little more adjustment out of it. All right, pull a few bolts all off that arm we're replacing. And she's out of there. Pulled our arm off on the other side. And now to get the top ones, we gotta get in here in the trunk. You can see the 2 bolts right there. Theo came to inspect, make sure we're doing a good job. He said, keep it up, boys. You're doing all right so far. He's tuned in many a coil spring suspension back in his day. Dang,
Right.
did you finally get her?
Yep.
You gonna pick up on that just a little bit? Boop. Has this convenient holder to just put everything in. Ready? Yep. So let's look at these ones. They're gonna be a little different. The reason I know they're gonna be different is I was just looking here and I started to adjust this one down an inch, and you'll max out in the bottom. So they're not like the other ones where you can keep going. Obviously just a different style having that eyelet down on the bottom. So these are supposed to be capable of dropping a lot. So my theory was that it's just already going to be dropped a lot. And I'd say that's a pretty noticeable difference right there. So we're probably just going to run that down to right there where it came in the box. And that's where we'll try it. The stuff is nice, but some instructions for some recommendations on factory ride height and then how much to adjust from there would be nice. It don't really come with nothing. Luckily for old Nate Dog, I was a smarts man's and we'll figure her out. All right, going with our new arm symmetrical pieces. We ain't got to worry about which side is which. We need the open towards the top where our stuff can go in. And we'll start with up here. Seems to fit pretty stinking nice. Now these ones, we are gonna have to clamp down a lot. They come spread open more than enough. Slotted, got our cam bolt kit. Kind of like our front, we're gonna drop the hardware and not get it started. And then when we do get it started, we're just gonna kind of leave everything mocked up here, guys, to check the ride height if we ever get it started. I can tell you this is a tire that Theo always pees on because I can smell it. That's good. That's why all the bolts are rusty.
Yeah, you're a dog.
Theo pissing on everything. He's like, let's make sure Nathan never gets that spacer off, hikes his leg. All right, we're gonna have to do a little weight test, throw our wheels on and get a couple lug nuts on. Sit her down, see what she's gonna look like. I know old Nate Dog's excited. He just seen the gold spokes on that side. He said, ooh, let me look again. Dang, you're gonna be hella flush for sure. We're gonna be cranking that adjustment in.
Oh yeah.
Back don't look terrible. Front has to come down some more. She's sitting like a lift kit.
The back is pretty good actually.
Yeah, height-wise?
Yeah.
I don't know what we're after here, and I really don't remember what it looked like before, but I know that ain't it. It looks like you got some real power and you're pulling the front tires. Or, okay, I just want to make sure the lift didn't have us held up in the air still. It's off the car. Golly, you wanted racing suspension, you're gonna have it, pal. That's hardly any preload on those too. 1 millimeter worth, they said. We did loosen these all the way to soft. Nathan was pushing on that side and I was pushing on this side, and we did get it to spring some. We have determined no matter what, that front end needs to come down some. And then looking at the back, height-wise, he's pretty happy with where it's at there, but I guess that's what that arm does. I noticed there's another arm from the factory on the front, so that actually makes it where the wheel can push in and out, which is kind of goofy, honestly. But right now, with how it is, that wheel's sticking out of the wheel well at an angle, so we need to shove that out or suck that front in. Hopefully we can just shove this back out and get it a little straighter. So that's our 2 adjustments we're going to start with, and we'll figure it out or we won't. You're going to be driving, things going to be crab walking, tires are going to be chirping. You're going to have to borrow the tow roller, and I'm going to have to trailer this thing to the alignment shop. I don't know why he's laughing. I'm half serious. Should have showed y'all, and I may have forgot, but when we had weight on this, I measured from the top of the fender well to the top of the wheel. And here at the rear, where Nathan's pretty happy with it, we had 3.5 inches. Up here we had 5. So we're gonna look at dropping it 1.5 inches. So I blew all this apart again, and now we're gonna, this was set at 2.5, so we're basically taking that gap down to 1 inch now. Somewhere in there. All this is exactly why I said I shouldn't have tightened it all up. Could you imagine if we didn't take 1.5 inches out from the beginning? Golly. Be looking like one of the Carolina squat trucks. All right, throw our tire back on. I may gave her a 1/4 inch extra. Spice her up a little bit. Got our other side to match. 1 3/4 inches should be a pretty significant difference here. I don't know what Theo's seen, but boy, he just ran like his life depended on it to try to get to it. What'd you see over there, huh? All that for like a dragonfly or something. How's that? A little better?
Yeah, definitely better.
Make you feel a little better than seeing it with the lift kit in the front? Oh, see, it sits with a little bit of rake. I told him I went a little extra because we'd rather the front sit slightly lower instead of the rear. I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, we can come down more. We have options.
I wish. I probably couldn't, though.
Why is that?
My driveway.
Oh. I mean, if you're happy with where it's looking at, that's what matters.
It looks pretty similar, too.
I think the front looks better than the rear now. But we need to measure off the wheel well because the wheel well could be different. I'm just saying this tire definitely hugs that fender more than back there.
Yeah, it is.
Since we were happy with how this thing sat before, and the goal was kind of get close, be close to there again, guys, we should have measured off the ground to this on the front and back, and we would have known that had been our target measurement wise to end up back to. Right now, front's about 24 7/8. Rear is 25 1/2. Now that don't necessarily matter because that's assuming if we set that body perfectly level on the ground that those would match, and I don't think so. I think that wheel well kicks up more. But the bottom of the car, it runs fairly true and flat, so I guess we could measure off of that, but I can already tell y'all the back is sitting higher. So she does have a little bit of rake to her. What do you think? You want to take the back down a little bit? Or you like how it is? Damn, giving her the eagle eye. I see you. Hey, do this, it'll help. You start, yeah, there you go.
Maybe to the wind.
There you go.
Yeah, it probably has to go down just a little more.
I think it needs to go down just a hair more. Nothing crazy. Just help take that gap out. Drop her down there fingertips worth. 3/8 of an inch maybe. All right, I said if we were gonna keep the front there, that the back needs to come down just a hair. But after looking at the front, he thinks it needs to come up just a hair just because he's got a pretty wild driveway. He's got to make it through in this thing. My concern, I don't know how much that tire can be sucked in, but you basically got a fingertip before that tire is going to start rubbing that. So we're going to pick the front up just a hair. And picking it up just a hair may level it out to right where it needs to be. Here we go, test of adjustment number 2, not counting the initial. And we adjusted up about 5/16 of an inch.
That looks better.
That looks about
That looks like almost similar
to how it was.
That's where it is.
I mean, we can fine tune from there, but like I said, we take that front up and now the back don't look bad. There is a slightly larger gap back here, but it looks good instead of, like, you either want, in my opinion, level or a little rake, but not the back being lower. I think the stance looks pretty good right now. You work that though, and we'll tune it into your heart's desire. If you want to take the front down lower or the rear down lower, just even a 1/8 inch, we can do it. Do it to it. It's actually pretty easy. Pull a couple bolts and turn a couple nuts and throw all that back in place and check it.
I think the front's good.
We gonna see this thing sliding around the old Kmart parking lot sideways?
Not for a while.
Not knocking over some U-Haul rent-a-trailers or what? Fast and the Furious Pot County Drift? Go slide her through the Chick-fil-A parking lot. Tell them my pleasure as you pass.
They have all my information. They know where I live.
He used to work at Chick-fil-A before I went there and poached him out of the drive-through. I mean, if it comes down, it needs to be like a hair. It's gonna be a fraction. It can't be a lot.
Yeah, I know it won't be a lot. I just don't know if I even should just mess with it or just leave it like that.
It's easy to change. If you want to try it, let's try it. Don't leave today questioning what if. My eagle eye said it looks pretty good where it's sitting. I think the back was slightly higher. We just measured the front at 25 3/16, and the back is at 25 1/2. So we're pretty stinking close. Slightest bit of rake. If we do drop the back, it has to be a hair. Do, 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 do.
It looks good right now.
It does look pretty good. The good thing is I think you can drive there and not obliterate your fender with the tire. So that's a plus.
Yeah, it should be fine.
If he likes it, I like it. Now the front, there ain't really nothing to adjust on as far as other than the camber, which we may try to set some. But the rear, we got to investigate that and figure out why our wheel's so wonky and crooked. So I'm not going to show y'all tightening everything up front because I already showed y'all what we got to do up there. We just got to do her now and get her did. So that front all tightened down and everything. We threw the sway bar end links on, no big deal. Nathan didn't really like how far it's sticking out. And he has a car, he was kind of referencing some of what they done. And long story short, I took a straight edge in my angle finder. I can't find my digital one right now. But I checked across there, and where we had it, that thing was pretty well zero. Like, impressively close to zero. We actually just adjusted on the top plate and gave it a little bit of camber. And right now it's reading at 1 degree, and we're going to go one more, or a little more. So I don't know how much moving on those lines is supposed to get you. I moved over 2 lines, and like I said, with using that manual one, that's probably not the most accurate reader, but it looked like it moved 1 degree. So we're just going to go 1 additional line here and see if we don't end up between 1 to 2. What did that car have? 1.9?
1.9. So yeah, it doesn't take too much to...
I would like 1.9, but the thing is with that top being able to suck over, if with the width of tire and stuff he has, if he wanted none, the front almost needs an adjustable lower control arm where the bottom can be sucked in some. Or the option would be to just start changing wheels and tires, and these are really expensive wheels with really expensive tires, so that's not really an option. It's nice and easy to adjust. Just loosen that over, moved her over 1 line, and we'll see what he thinks about this. I could tell a minute ago he wasn't too excited about it when we had it down on the ground, and come to find out that's what it was, how that tire's sticking out. I can't even tell a difference from our last adjustment, but...
Really? From the front, I can smell.
Do our redneck alignment here. Oh yeah. Now I'm reading about 1.5-ish. So I steady went from 0 to 1 to now 1.5. So I mean, the small adjustments we're doing is matching this. I think that's pretty close to where that car he had seen would have been. We got that side matching, and Nate Dogg's happy with that, with how it's sitting now. So that's the look we're after. I wouldn't recommend going any more than what we did. 1.5. He said he remembers from the last alignment though that they told him they could get one at 0 and one at 3.5, 3.5, and he thought the rear was 3.5 and the front was 0. But our tire wear tells us different, guys. The back tires were perfectly fine, so the back they did get to 0. The front before then meant they could only get it to 3.5, and right now it's at 1.5, so it's actually an improvement than what he had. And it's the best we can do in here. Like I said, to get the back or bottom sucked in anymore, it's gonna need a adjustable lower. Well, for the back, we're kind of trying to hurry because it's getting later into the evening we thought this was gonna take. Guys, everything we didn't make adjustments on the rear as far as ride height and stuff, so we just torqued all the stuff. Nothing fancy there. The main thing was with that adjustable arm that went on back here, that tire was a whoop. So I just kind of set them halfway on our cam lobe adjuster. And now I'm gonna have Nathan hold our tape measure on the tread over there, and I'm gonna measure it over here. And we're right at 65 and 5/16. Now we gotta go as far forward as we can on the front and see what we're at. 65 and 7/8. So we gotta shove each side on the back out a little bit, just a hair. And I mean, it's gonna be a hair, because if you start shoving it out, technically your front could be moving in too. All right, had to figure out which way was actually shoving them out or sucking them in. I think I moved each side of here. We gotta check again. We can do the math on that though. And 5/16 to 7/8. What is that? We got 3/16 to go, and then 3/8 to go. So a 9/16 difference. So we need to divide that by 2, and then yeah, find in between. And once we get the back matching that number, the 56 and whatever, then the front should match it. I just confused myself. Let's just check it. All right, folks, good news. It's exactly where it was last time. I think that's because I pulled on it some the wrong way, and then I shoved them back out. and I thought I was starting to go too far, so I didn't want to push my luck. So that's what we got to do now. Made adjustments on there till we got it, and basically ended up right at 6 3/4, and then a 30-second past that on the other side. I mean, it's just a frog hair pass. The other thing I was measuring was the center of our bolt on our control arm out to our wheel, going using that flat edge on the flat edge of the wheel, and that's within a 1/16 of each other. And I don't think we're going to get much better than that using the tape measure and just what we've got going on. So I locked them in. Before, that thing was aimed off like nobody's business, and now it actually looks pretty straight down through there. Looks pretty good. Nathan got some new fancy raised lug nuts to go with her, so we're gonna get our lug nuts on. Commit. It looks good right there where you had it. Woo! I don't know what that means, but woo. Raise is probably some like high-end stuff, I don't know.
It's underground. If you know, you know.
That damn thing's gotten louder. How'd that front feel dropping off that? Stiff? Oh yeah, she's kind of stiff. You think it's stiffer than it was?
I think so.
He's used to going baby speed up this driveway.
Yeah.
It's not near as loud in here as it is behind this thing. Behind this thing, she's loud. Ride's pretty good.
It's not that bad, actually.
After we tried to bounce that thing and couldn't, I thought it was gonna beat you to death, but it feels pretty good. We've already smacked some bumps. As far as where we set the front, it should feel better because it went from 3 degrees of camber to 1.5. I did check the rear. It's in that 2 degrees of camber, but to fix that, we'd have to pop loose the other control arm, and then we'd be aligning all kinds of stuff that we don't need to be doing with tape measure. I always like riding in it afterwards just to make sure it don't feel dangerous. Like, I can see it ain't fighting him. He ain't having to keep it on the road. No funky noises. And I think it's good to go. Straight to the alignment shop, but it's good to go. You think it feels as good as before? It don't feel...
It's a little stiffer, but not like...
What about driving, though?
Driving, it feels nice. It feels good. Like I said, too, because brand new tires, that feels good, too.
I think it's more of your front tires hitting the ground that you're feeling. 3 degrees to 1.5 is a big increase. I think we did pretty good today, folks. Well, drive went pretty good, and then right there at the very end, we heard a little, just the slightest little clank coming from the rear. We could tell it was the rear. Nate said he thought it was passenger. So I reached up underneath there and felt on everything. Everything felt fine. I had him pull it in and out right there, hitting that lip. And sure enough, we got it to clank a couple times right there. And all I could think of to do was double check everything we had touched, obviously. I got a little bit of a turn on the sway bar end link, and that was pretty much it. And then we just tested it, and so far so good. He's gonna go run around real quick and come back, let me know if it went away. I'm thinking maybe that thing with the tire off and stuff, maybe, and the suspension on it, maybe it was binding and making it maybe where I couldn't wiggle it or something. Hopefully that's all she was. Other than that, as far as how the driving go, that thing was riding way better than I thought, guys. Good to go?
Yep, I hit some of those harder ones, like that one right there. Nothing.
Hey, your hood's popped. Don't go home like that.
You just push it down.
Yeah, well, earlier I barely closed it because I'm afraid to shove on it. I don't want to be tearing stuff up. Must have been that end link, so that's good.
Yeah, everything went down a few bumps, went down a little bit of like rougher patch of road, nothing. Even right here in the driveway, we're all good.
All right, I'm happy with that, guys. It just passed by 7 o'clock, and I was hoping to have all this done about 5 o'clock, so definitely running behind. I'm gonna get in and spend some time with them girls. Not much time because, well, it's close to bedtime for some of them. Anyhow, guys, thanks for being here on the second channel. I think I've made a decision on the Air Ride or not, and I'm not gonna tell you what that decision is. I've just made a decision to not share my decision. And other than that, I'm glad we were able to get Nate Dog fixed up. I know he's loving that thing with the new wheels and everything. Looks cool. Not my cup of tea, but I think he does his stuff in a tasteful way, so not too over the top. So thank y'all so much for being here. PutInsFabShop.com for that good quality merchandise. When y'all overwhelm us there, you keep Nathan busy packing orders and employed. So from us to y'all, thank y'all for all the support. We're on the Facebook and Instagram. You can catch us on the Patreon, blah, blah, blah. And that is it, guys. I'm ready for a shower. I will see y'all on the next one. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish a project. Hot damn, there's so much BSery. We had to start a whole channel for all the extras. Be sure to go check out Puddin's Fab Shop if you ain't seen that baby yet. Come on!